The first question will come from Steve McGarkey of the Associated Press. Steve, go ahead.
Just wondering, the way this game was going down the stretch with both teams scoring, going back and forth, were you kind of anticipating this might be one where it just comes down to whoever has the ball last?
No, I mean, I feel good about our defense. I feel like they were due for a big stop. We had a chance there. Sav, almost was able to hold on to that pick, get us the ball back at the 40. But I mean, Kirk's had a really nice season. He played really well today, and we just started a little bit too slow. Didn't score enough points.
Next up, we're going to go to Pete Doherty of the Green Bay Press-Gazette. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Aaron. I'm wondering, what do you think of the prospects of playing the rest of the season without Elgton Jenkins?
Oh, man, he's been so versatile for us. He can play every position on the line. I think he's played at least 4 of them. So definitely hate to see that happen. Not sure what his official status is coming out of the game. But, with Dave's status unknown, we're going to have to rely on probably Yash. He's played some good football for us, so proud of the way he stepped in. But hopefully the news isn't so bad without him.
Next up, Rob Demoski, ESPN. Go ahead, Rob.
Aaron, can you just quickly take us through the play to Marquez? And then at that point, obviously you have to score, but is there any fear like, oh, we scored too soon?
Not really. The play was, an old play in the old offense that we've kind of revamped the last, 6-8 weeks. Called it a few times. We called it today probably 3 or 4 times. Just made a slight adjustment, we called it on the second to last drive, and Quez was at number 2. He ran a corner route. They dropped him. So actually I moved Randall to the 2 spot, thinking that he's a good corner runner and his angle would be a little higher than Marquez's on the when we looked at the pictures on the sideline. And Marquez's speed at 3 is always, an attention getter. They decided to bring pressure, and I kind of looked left first to Devontae, and that kind of held Harrison down there on that side. And Quez just had a one-on-one on the safety, took a really nice angle, and I was protection held up. I was able to do my footwork I've been doing for 17 years on that play and retreat back and put a ball in a good spot. Once ball's in Quez's hands, that's he's taking that to the house.
Next up, we go Jason Wilde, Wisconsin State Journal. Go ahead, Jason.
Aaron, it didn't look like your toe bothered you at all. You had the long run. You were able to move the way you normally do. But, the fact that you're not able to practice, is it a big concern for you? And what is it exactly? Is it like Devontae with the turf toe a couple of years ago, or what?
No, and I've had turf toe. It's a little worse than turf toe. I'm just going to have to get through the bye and hope I can get some healing over the bye week. Probably the same schedule next week. Was in a lot of pain, went in at halftime early to get it checked out. It's very, very painful. Got stepped on in the first half, and that kind of activated all the symptoms I was having. So it's going to be another painful week next week, and then hopefully start to feel a little better in the bye.
All right, next up, we're going Tom Silverstein, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Go ahead, Tom.
Aaron, of all the drives that you weren't able to convert, was there one that bothered you more than any other that you thought you could have scored on that?
I mean, the first drive of the game to go out and get 7 would have been great. Hit Tay on a crossing route, turned into a 40-yard gain to get us going. And, we came back and looked like there was, PI on Marquez on a, that would have been a 10-yard gain. Then we had to settle for a 54-yard field goal. So I think that was definitely frustrating. There were some other frustrating drives for sure, but, they played 2 shell the majority of the game. They played a little bit of 1 high here and there, but a lot of 2 shell. And, once we kind of got to some more spread out formations, I feel like there were some big open spots, especially in the middle, and we started hitting them and moving Devontae around and putting them in a slot on the 2 side, put them in the 3 spot on a 1x3, and just giving them some different looks, give them some opportunities to kind of free up. That was what kind of got us going.
All right, next up, Aaron Nagler. Go ahead, Aaron.
Aaron, on the end around to EQ, given that you haven't practiced all week, have you practiced that before? Because you were like Jason Williams NBA style with your ball handling there. It looked like it was like magician style.
I do appreciate that reference, being a big Kings fan growing up. But we borrowed that play from an offense very similar to ours. And I just tried to mimic what I saw Matt Stafford do on the clip. So that was a great run by EQ. I'm really proud of EQ. I got a hold of him and had a nice conversation with him at the end of training camp when he was released. And I just felt like there was going to be an opportunity for him at some point during the season. But today, what he did, especially on those 2 catches in the end around, that was pretty awesome. But to finish up your answer, I took a walkthrough rep of that during the week, and that was good enough for me to feel good about the ball handling and the kind of flip point.
All right, next up, we're going to go Wes Hodkiewicz, Packers.com. Go ahead, Wes.
Hey, Aaron, what did you see on the pass to DeGuara? And just how big is that moment, for a young tight end, kind of going off an extended play there to connect with him?
Yeah, it was good to get his first touchdown. We ran a 3-man combo to his side. They stayed inside leverage. So I went to my backside read, which is Devontae running a stick return. And he ran a great stick, and then Anthony kind of held him. And so I kind of I got off it. I was thinking there was going to be a flag there, and kind of moved to my left. As I moved to my left, I was thinking about running for a second, and then he just flashed on me. He was, I think he was number 3 in the 3x2. And so he just obviously just took it up and then broke out when he saw me scramble and made a nice catch. But he's been, he does a lot of dirty work for us, a lot of, slides to the backside and cuts and some flat routes and stuff, and then play some fullback for us. So I was really happy for him to get that first touchdown.
All right, next up, we'll go Bill Huber, Maven Media. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Aaron, can you take us through the second touchdown to Devontae where the snap was goofed up, he didn't block Griffin, Devontae got wide open?
Well, they brought an empty pressure, Bill. So they brought 6. We had 5 blockers. I was actually winding it down to call timeout, and Lucas decided to snap it early. He says that I changed the snap count. I don't know if that was correct there, but the clock was running down, and I had just turned to Sean to call timeout. And as I turned, that ball snapped. So I caught it. I knew we were going to squeeze to the left side. So it was going to be me and Griffin kind of mono there. I looked to the inside route, which I believe was Marquez maybe. He was covered. I gave a little stutter step to Everson, and I saw Tay had beaten his guy, had stutter stepped his guy and beaten him. And so I just tried to get it up in the air and get it out there. Turned into a pretty sweet play though.
All right, next up, we'll go Rachel Hopmeyer, NBC 26. Go ahead.
Hey, Aaron, with the emphasis that you've had last year and this year, on cherishing the moment, about enjoying what's in front of you, were there any moments you did that today in a back and forth struggle, and how do you do that when it's such a contested game?
I appreciate the environment. We've had some back and forths here over the years, and we opened the stadium up years ago. It wasn't quite as loud today as it has been in some of those past games. Maybe that's because there's a lot of Packer fans here, which was awesome. The support was great. But, I do enjoy the battles against Coach Zimmer and that defense. He played against Anthony and Eric and Harrison for a long time. Everson's back with them. So I do enjoy the battles. Zim is a great coach and great scheme and always mixes things up, and it's a chess match. But it was fun to have some success today, but, disappointing we're coming up on the short end.
All right, next up, we go to MK Burgess, WFRV TV. Go ahead. MK? Okay, never mind. We'll move on. Next up, we'll go to Kyle Malzahn, WFRV TV as well.
Aaron, how good did it feel to get or find Davante Adams twice in the end zone?
It always is nice throwing him the ball. He's got a big catch radius. The first one was a big, deep crossing route there in the red zone, and the protection was great on that play. And I actually came back to see if they had dropped Kabe on the backside. By the time I came back to Tay, he was getting double covered, and the protection was so good. I just kind of slid to my right and was pointing him back the other side, and he made a nice catch. And, I detailed the second one. That was just a great route by him, and I was able to buy enough time. But, I am proud of Marquez. We've missed on some opportunities this year. Missed on one today, but we had a couple big plays throughout the game, and obviously the big touchdown to bring us back even there in the fourth was pretty special to get him the ball in space down the field.
All right, we'll go back to Rob Demoski of ESPN. Go ahead, Rob.
Aaron, I know it's such a week-to-week league, but big picture, where do you think you guys need to get better down the stretch?
I think at times the last couple of years we've been so good in the first 15 or 20 plays that we script and scoring on opening drives, touchdowns. It hasn't really been the case this year. We've been a lot slower starting, so we got to look at that. Haven't been great in situational offense, especially in the red zone comparatively. Today we were a little bit better, but we got to get touchdowns, and our defense have been playing so good. Some games you got to outscore teams that get hot on offense, and we had an opportunity to score 40 points today. And when you're playing a offense that's hot, that has a hot quarterback and stud receivers and the stud back, you got to keep scoring. We've had a couple games like this over the years, like about 2012, especially, where we got outscored them at their place. So we didn't do that today. But I think for us personally on offense, we got to start faster. We got to score touchdowns on those opening plays. So, I know Matt will be looking at that this week and dial up some good stuff for LA.
All right, and we got time for one more, so we'll go to Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Aaron, just along those lines, when you've got a receiver on the other side going off the way Justin Jefferson did today, how much is that in your conscience? I mean, how much are you aware of that? How much does that put pressure on the offense to kind of keep pace?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they had some explosiveness on offense. Obviously played against Adam for a long time, and Justin is a super talented young player. Kirk's been playing really well. So we knew we had to take care of the football, and we had to maximize our possessions. I mean, we had, I believe, just 3 possessions in the second half and scored touchdowns on all of them. But we had an opportunity in the first half to do a better job putting points on the board and converting on some third downs in the red zone. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a conscious effort when Justin's going nuts. It's just we knew we had to maximize our possessions, that they could shrink the game a little bit. We just didn't do that in the first half.
All right, that's all we got time for. Thank you, Aaron. Have a good one. All right, and that will be it